Love is Blind Season 7 is bringing us hit after terrible hit. Some couples are still stumbling their way through the experiment, and before the wedding day even arrives, another couple bites the dust. Hey y'all, it's Nae. Welcome back to my little corner of YouTube. This video will contain spoilers for Love is Blind Season 7, episodes 7 through 9, so if you haven't seen them yet and you do not want spoilers, save this video and come back after you do. You are about to hear my thoughts on episodes 7 through 9, but of course I want to hear yours, so feel free to drop your thoughts below if you do want to participate in the conversation, and give this video a like before you go, so I know you enjoyed it. If you want to keep the conversation going after this video, feel free to head on over to my Discord server. It's a place for us to chit chat outside of YouTube and it's free, so why not? The link is in the description box. Steven. Where the hell do I even start with this situation? Now I'm not gonna hold y'all. I think I may have called this one. How do y'all feel about Steven trying to explain away cheating? There is something about the way that Steven explained it that made me pause.
I believed that this person that I was dating at the time, I believed I didn't deserve her. I basically slid into a girl's DM and we were flirting with intention.
Now we got bits and pieces of this story because for whatever reason, this season, production is not really giving us the full tea on the falling outs that these couples are having. We kind of got a glossing over of the Tim and Alex situation, and we pretty much got a glossing over of this situation, although I do feel that in this situation we got a little bit more. Like at least here we know that there was some text sent, there was something more that happened. And this really gets down to the true reason of why I started doing commentary on TV shows that I was watching, because I would be watching and I'd be like, but what about this? And I had nobody to talk to because I don't really know too many people who watch stuff like this, ironically. And my husband not gonna talk to me about it, so that's why I made this channel. And this is all about to come full circle because I have questions. Monica said that Steven was at a sleep study that night. Steven said that he was drunk that night.
Were you at a sleep test last night?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I believe that.
I did make a completely stupid mistake while being drunk at a sleep test with somebody who texted me.
How was he drunk at a sleep study? Unless it was a sleep study on what happens to people's brains when they're drunk and they try to go to sleep. If that exists, sign me up because I'm trying to be in that sleep study. And I don't know about anyone else, but me personally, I want to see these text messages. And if I'm being completely honest, the real reason that I want to see these text messages is because I view Monica as a little bit of a prude. Like, she's a little prudish in my eyes. And she keeps saying that these text messages were full of gross fetishes.
Reading those text messages filled with fetishes, disgusting, Steven. And the really gross ones were today.
And damn it, I want to know. I need to know if it was actual gross fetishes or if this was some basic low-level 50 Shades of Grey type stuff and she just ain't about that life. Like, that's crazy. Like, I want to know what the text messages say. I need to know how gross the fetishes got. I'm not even gonna lie. Gross fetishes aside, Monica made a great call deciding to end things then and there because clearly Steven wasn't in this from the beginning. Why come on this show and waste everybody's time? And I'm gonna get on a soapbox real quick. Some of y'all are grown as people. I'm not even gonna just say men. I am gonna talk about men. But some of y'all are grown as people still playing these games. Steven is a grown man, 34 years of age. Marriage age, father age. You know what this show is about. You know that the goal is marriage at the end of a very short amount of time. If you aren't willing to put your all into something for the 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks that this experiment lasts, how are we to believe that you would have put your all into this marriage? A grown ass man leading these people on. And when I say these people, I'm talking about Monica, I'm talking about production, just everybody. You came on this show and wasted everybody's time. And the thing that surprises me but doesn't surprise me is that I'm not even talking about just in this scenario of Love is Blind. I have friends who are in this same age range and on dating apps, and they tell me that the men on there are playing these same damn games. If your goal is to just have a friend with benefits, we are grown. Just say that. Don't act like you want to date somebody for the long term, and definitely don't go on a show called Love is Blind where you know the goal is to get married at the end. Like, why even do? The thing is, you don't have to do that. You could find somebody who just want to like hang out and be friends with benefits. You don't have to pretend to want to get married. It's not clicking, Steven. Like, it's not clicking.
What's not clicking, Steven?
And look, I don't know if he was just feeling the pressure of the show or if he didn't like Monica from the very beginning. I don't know which one it is. I'm leaning towards the latter. Like, I feel like he knew from the beginning that this is not what he wanted. Because even before the stuff with the text messages came out, and when I say came out, I mean before Monica found out, he was already showing signs of one foot being out the door. And I know Monica is frustrated because I'm frustrated. You wasted the spot of a man who could have come on this show and really connected with somebody. Even if that person wasn't Monica, like, you wasted that spot. There's only so many people, so many men, so many women that get to go on each season. what a waste of time you were to pretend that you wanted to be here. To me, it sounds like Steven signed up, got through the process, got casted, and then decided, oh, actually, this is not what I wanted. And like I said, he had that feeling of having one foot out the door and being disconnected from Monica really before they even got back to the apartments. He wouldn't even watch the fireworks with her.
Steven, look.
I'm gonna come.
So
Wow, it's so pretty.
And of course, it's not about the fireworks, right? It was about spending that moment with her, bonding with her. Y'all are aiming to get married. Y'all just met. When you first meet somebody, you want to be around them 24/7, all up under them and all of that. So the fact that he didn't want to spend that time with her was already questionable. She wanted to share that experience with you. She wanted to have that memory with you. And you were missing the mark even then. And then tried to blame it on Garrett.
Sorry, Garrett was like having a moment. Your man and I were having a very like serious moment about something, and like then the fireworks happen. And knowing Garrett and the way that his brain works is like, I know this man needs to get it out. Being a quantum physicist, he uses different thinking patterns than I do.
What does Garrett being a quantum physicist have to do with you not watching fireworks with your fiance? Taylor was like, I'll be trying to bring my man into this, like we good. I also feel like he was a little drunk at that mixer, and at your big age, you need to know how to hold your liquor. And if you know that you can't hold your liquor, then don't drink. It was also sounding like maybe he was a bit insecure financially, and I get that. I don't know if we got full insight to their upbringings in the pods, or maybe I just don't remember, but to me it sounds like she grew up with more money than him, and so he was feeling a little bit insecure about how to continue to provide that lifestyle for her. Maybe not in the sense that he can't afford it, but just like it's not what he's used to doing. He's not used to gift giving. He's not used to doing things like that, because he's an electrician, and electricians, to my knowledge, make pretty good money. Like I said, I don't know if it's he can't financially do it, or if he's just afraid that he won't be able to live up to her standards of what a gift is. He was claiming that he didn't even know who Louis Vuitton is.
I have not once felt like our financial upbringing differences. It was like I know I don't have to get you something top quality like a Kate Spade bag. So
Ever getting one of those?
something
Like a YSL bag.
I don't even know what that is.
Louis Vuitton? You've heard of Louis Vuitton.
Is he like a big deal?
I can't afford a Louis Vuitton purse at all, and I know who that is. So you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like he maybe felt there was a disconnect class-wise, if that makes sense. And maybe I also don't remember this from the pods, but apparently Steven had told Monica that he was the type of man to buy flowers. And for her, that really meant something. It sounded like that was something that made her go, oh, this is a good guy. And he was also backtracking on that. I didn't necessarily see that as a red flag, but it is something that needs to be addressed early on in a relationship. I know that love languages are a fairly new ideology, at least as far as being something that's practiced and openly spoken about in mainstream society. I really just found out about love languages, I don't know, probably back in 2020 or a little bit before, because my therapist was talking to me about love languages. And even in that short amount of time, I've realized that they matter a lot, in my opinion. And where a lot of people, I don't want to say fail, but where a lot of people get confused is that they think they should show people that they care in the way that they would like people to show them. When in reality, you have to show people in the way that they receive love. If Monica is saying, hey, my love languages are words of affirmation and gifts, then Steven needed to be prepared to show her love in the way that she receives it, which is by giving her gifts and sharing words of affirmation with her. You have to show the other person in the way that they receive it, because that's just how their brain is wired. For me, one of my love languages is acts of service. I love cooking for people that I care about, my friends, my family, I don't care. Like, one of my biggest dreams is just to have a space that's big enough, a house that's big enough to host people. I love hosting people. I love, like I said, cooking for people. And I would say that gifts is another one of mine. I love popping in with little gifts for my friends, just out of the blue sometimes. Like, oh, someone shares to their Instagram story they had a bad day. That's my friend. Oh, here you go. Know you had a bad day. Like, here's something I'm sending you. And so it's important that people who care about me, not just significant others, I'm talking friends and family too. Someone who cares about me shows me love in those ways. Not saying that the other ways aren't important, but it matters that I receive love in the way that I receive love. Now, I do have to give Steven credit for taking her to do the pressed flower art, because he did take in what she said about the flowers, and he said, okay, well, I don't necessarily see myself buying flowers for whatever reason. A lot of people are against buying flowers because they feel like they die and they don't last long enough. So he said, okay, I'm going to one up that. Let's go do this pressed flower artwork. And that would have been amazing had he not been lying to her face. He gave her flowers that she can keep forever. Unfortunately, it all ended up meaning nothing because he wasn't taking the relationship seriously. And Monica was being very rightfully so shady right before he left. She was like, before you get your shit and you go, make sure you Venmo me the money that I've been spending on you, brokey. Because we know that he had lost his job, so she was kind of fronting the cost for things.
Before you leave, I would like you to Venmo me the money you owe me for me carrying your weight the last couple days. If you wouldn't mind taking out your phone now to send me the Venmo.
There we go.
When it comes to Ashley and Tyler, I might be in the minority on this, but his children are a non-issue to me. He donated sperm. It's not like he's a deadbeat dad and he has kids out here that he's not taking care of. In my eyes, those children are not his children. It's no different to me than someone being a surrogate and saying, okay, I carried this baby for you now. I'm handing this baby to you because I don't want this kid. Not like that, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not their kid at the end of the day. To me, that's how I view sperm donors. It's not your kid at the end of the day. You're just providing a service. Whether or not you do that anonymously through a sperm bank, or I don't know if that's the PC way to say it these days, whatever. Whether or not you do it that route, or you donate to someone who you know that maybe just has had trouble conceiving, or maybe they're same sex, not an issue for me. Not his children. He just provided a way for the children to get here.
We've talked about kids every day. It's not your kid. Kids. But they are your kids. And it's with someone that you know. What are their genders?
2 girls and a boy.
Now that's what, 3 extra kids?
Should he have said something sooner? Maybe. But to me, literally, I don't feel like this impacts their relationship. So I don't know that he ever had to say anything. I mean, maybe he had to say something. Maybe he had to say, hey, by the way, I've been a sperm donor before. But because I don't think that it impacts them at all, I'm like, I don't really understand why Ashley's so mad. Maybe some of you agree more with her and can explain it to me. And Ashley was pretty damn rude for calling those children sperm donor babies. That I think that was a little inconsiderate and rude for her to say. I think she did try to correct herself on it, but it was kind of a rude thing to say.
To fall in love with a guy who has 3 sperm babies, sperm donor babies, is a lot to absorb.
I hope that they could work through this because, again, look at them. Do they not look like they've been together for 10 years and have 3 kids? This man repeatedly dotes on her and talks about how she makes him feel safe and feel at home. Let's just move past this sperm donor issue. I love that they were talking about starting their own Christmas traditions. Christmas season is my favorite season. Last year I did Vlogmas for the first time and I kind of talked about the childhood nostalgia of Christmas time and how I always remember having really amazing Christmases. So I love Christmas. I love Christmas traditions, the music, the food, staying up to bake cookies and leaving milk out. I did that. Even though I didn't believe in Santa, I did that. All of it. Sign me up for the whole thing. I just love Christmas. So when I hear people say, oh, I want to build our own traditions, do that. I think that's a beautiful thing. You know what was also refreshing to see? Ashley's dad. I really liked him a lot. He was like, look, my daughter is happy, so I'm happy. If my daughter ever starts looking or sounding like she's not happy, then I might go ahead and have to beat Tyler's ass. But until then, nah, he ain't say it like that.
Who am I to judge what makes my daughter happy? She feels good, she's happy, I'm happy. If Ashley starts talking a little bit differently, sad this, then daddy gonna kick into motion.
You know whose parent was not at all a fresh breath of air? Marissa's.
Yeah.
It would be nice if marriage lasts forever, but I don't believe in forever. It's 15 years, 20 years, God is happy when it's happy, and then it ends. You tolerate each other till it's over. I think that you and Marissa should do a prenup. Has suffered from men fucking her over between her father, her stepfather, to then get fucked over by her husband because he's not making enough.
Just kept talking about his fashion.
Which I have to say is kind of off.
Is it off?
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I'm not feeling it.
Her mom was, dare I say it, insufferable. I get the whole life has been hard for me, so I have a hard shell. I'm hard to let people in. I come off as a little standoffish. I get that because I used to be that way. Before I started the process of healing my trauma, I was very much that type of person because flat out, life has been a little hard for me. So I truly do understand that mindset, but you can't go through your life like that. Like, I realized because somebody told me, they were like, look, you can't go through life just being mad at the world. Sometimes shit is rough. You have to work through it. And I was like, you're right. I don't want to go through the life being mad at the world. She's older than me. Okay, she has grown children. So, you know, you got to work through that stuff. I kind of talked about it before about things, you know, how I've experienced homelessness as a child and just like little things that have happened that had have made life rough for me. And when you grow up with roughness, or even when you're raising kids in roughness, like it sounds like her kids didn't grow up in the best situation, you can kind of get a fuck the world mentality. But you don't have peace of mind like that, and you really cannot go through life like that. You gotta heal that trauma, or you at least have to be open to healing some of the trauma. Her mom came on very strong, and I know that y'all noticed this too, because we be in tune. Her mom said something that completely contradicts what Marissa said in the pods.
She's always talked to me that she wants to take care of her baby when she has children.
Sure.
And stay home.
I don't think I'm a stay-home mom type of person. I'd probably go stir crazy a bit.
Yeah.
And I would feel like I want more.
I hope Ramses was also paying attention, and I hope that he brings that up to Marissa, because that's a big deal. I've said it, and I'll continue to say it. You have to be in line with stuff like that. It matters whether or not she wants to stay home with kids or if she wants to work. And having the mindset of, oh, well, we'll just handle it when we get there. That's not a good mindset to have, because y'all might be thinking y'all going on the same path, and one of y'all about to turn the fork in the road and be like, I want to stay home, and you're going to be like, I thought you weren't staying home. So although I don't care for her mom, and I think she's a pessimistic Patty, a degrading Debbie, and a negative Nancy, I'm happy that she brought that to light. Her mom also brings up a prenup. Now, we had a lot of conversations about prenups during Love is Blind UK, and I was strictly no prenup in no scenario, no way, no how. A few of you have explained to me that prenups can have benefits, and now I'm like, okay, I understand. I still don't know if I would sign one, but I'm like, okay, I understand why people would do it. Also, I'm aware that I'm biased about this, but if the prenup conversation is the man signing the prenup, then make him sign it. Take that how you want. I'm just a girl. And Ramses said he would sign it. Marissa says she's still on the fence. She hasn't decided if she wants one or not, but he said he would sign it. But I'm not even sure if they're gonna make it to the point of needing a prenup, because there are a few different troubles in their paradise. I think I finally understand why Marissa talks about the army so much, why she was so hung up on the fact that Bowden was in the army. She sounds like she has some unresolved trauma about her time served in the army, and maybe some things she had to do that she wasn't necessarily comfortable with, but she had to do because she was serving. I'm going to hold my thoughts on that topic because I am a military wife, and out of respect for my husband's career and what he does, I'm just not going to speak on it. Y'all feel free to. As for Ramses, he's from Venezuela, and now I kind of see why maybe he does have such strong feelings about the U.S. when it comes to military service. But because he's saying that for him it's a moral issue, I think they're going to have disagreements about that more than they are admitting to themselves. Again, morals are deeply rooted beliefs that you hold. And if your morals are not in line with your significant other's morals, that's going to leave you with some rocky foundation. I'm not saying y'all have to agree on everything, but when it comes to morals, like he is saying, his moral compass makes him feel that everything about the army, the military, serving is wrong. So if you feel that way, how could you then say you want to marry someone who has served and doesn't feel that way? Another major issue, and yeah, I'm going to have to get on my soapbox one more time during this video because they just making me bring it out. And in this situation, I'm on my soapbox with my red flag. I am beyond hearing men say that they don't want to wear condoms because it doesn't feel good to them. Y'all want to act like that is the worst thing in the world. But guess what? Men don't carry babies, and your body isn't going to go through those changes. You're telling her to get on birth control. Okay, are you going to personally go through the possible hormonal changes that she might have by being on birth control? I talk to my husband about this from time to time because sometimes I do have really debilitating periods. I don't have endometriosis. I've been tested for it. I'm just somebody who unluckily has no medical problems but has really shitty periods. Like, I'm in the bed crying. Sometimes I throw up. That's how bad my period cramps get sometimes. And, you know, my husband lets me take it out on him a little bit. But I talk to him and I'm like, women got the shortest end of the stick. Men carry almost none of the negatives of the reproductive system. No periods, no cramps, no bloating, no mood changes. And that's all if you aren't pregnant. Those are just the consequences of not getting pregnant. You do get pregnant and your body and mind goes through a whole list of other things. Probably all of that stuff on top of other things. I don't know. I don't have any children. I've never been pregnant. And then you have to give birth, and that's a whole list of other things. And then if you're a black woman on top of that, your risk of dying during childbirth and during pregnancy goes up significantly. And your child's chance of dying goes up significantly if you're a black woman. If you make it through all of that You then have postpartum, which from what I've heard could be like a 2-year thing. On top of having a newborn and a toddler, you're still dealing with postpartum depression, postpartum hair loss, all of these things. So Ramses, very disrespectfully, get fucking real.
Okay, cool. So we can disagree to have condom sex from here on out.
It's not really enjoyable, baby. Sex is supposed to be like mutually enjoyable.
It's laughable that he said that. It's truly laughable that men have that mindset, because please try being a woman for 1 month and let me know, because it's really not even just the period. Women get about 2 good weeks out of the month, because you have all of the stuff that happens about the week before your period, so that week is not exciting. You have the week before that's ovulation. That's not exactly that exciting either. You get about 1 good week after that. That's the week that you have your period. And then you get maybe a half a week after that, and then it all starts to fuck back over again. So I don't want to hear a man talking about how he doesn't want to wear a condom because it doesn't feel good to him. Kick rocks. He's more willing to risk getting her pregnant than to maybe experience a little bit of loss of excitement during sex. And that's crazy to me. I have the ick for her. Unrelated and way less important, somebody please tell Marissa that the word is al dente. And granted, I'm saying it with an American accent, but it's definitely not whatever word she was saying.
The noodles are quite hard, babe. They are al dente to the max.
So Nick and Hannah are still doing this. Okay, I'll play ball. Hannah is going to spend the rest of her life emasculating this man, and she's going to get a kick out of it. And unless that is the dynamic that he signed up for, I don't know why he's still in this relationship. If he marries her, she is going to break him down until there is dust left. And according to her brother, she does that with all the men in her life. Nick made a casual joke about her being unemployed, which was obviously a joke because we know she's going to get another job. We know that she's financially stable, like she's good. And then she came back at him with like a terrible insult that she's trying to mask as a joke.
And then I woke up to all the laundry in the bed for me to fold from Nick.
That's what happens when you're unemployed, right? Oh, I can't be mean too. It's just you.
You're just upset because I make more money than you, Nick.
Hannah's brother basically called Nick a bitch boy, and Hannah not only co-signed it, but they both laughed about it.
I want someone who's gonna put me on my place and kind of tell me what's up.
Bitch boy.
I need a bitch boy.
Is that a joke? Because I don't find it funny. She knows exactly what she's doing. She really, I personally feel that she was trying to break that man down because of her own insecurities. She even wanted her family to have something bad to say about him, and they were like, but we don't though.
Are y'all not gonna grill him or what?
Well, I don't know how to
I
grill.
just want to talk and just feel like what he's like.
Talk.
Okay, okay.
You don't have to grill me just yet.
Yeah, I think you've grilled him plenty.
I'm not sure what the point of grilling him is now. I mean, it's done. You all have made your decision.
And now I'm wondering if this whole thing is just an act or a front that she's putting on, because even her mom seemed confused as to why she was behaving this way. I mentioned in one of my previous videos that they look more like besties to me. And Hannah even said the same thing. But I'm going to go ahead and retract that statement, because you wouldn't even take digs at your bestie like this. This is you taking digs at this man like you don't like him. She's just mean-spirited towards him, and I don't understand why. Now, when they get back home after the honeymoon, they are having a conversation about household chores and, you know, what that dynamic is going to be like. To her credit, I do think that Hannah is asking the right questions. So although I don't think that she's actually attracted to him and wants to marry him, I do think that those are good conversations to have just in general. Talking about bills and finances and stuff, also great conversation. But I do think those things should have been discussed in the pods. Not for these two, because I don't think it matters because they're not getting married. But for future couples, I think those are things that should be discussed in the pods. And even in that moment, she was taking digs at him.
I'm younger than you, and I'm more mature than you.
You think you're more mature than me?
Yeah.
I know that Nick living with his parents will probably rub some of y'all the wrong way, but again, it's another non-issue for me. He's not bumming it. He lives in the basement, but he's not a basement dweller. And he explained why it is that he's still with his parents. And in this economy, I get it. Nick's parents seem lovely, but it does sound like they were sizing Hannah up for the Get Out auction.
Your hands are beautiful. You guys are going to have beautiful children.
Beautiful eyes.
She's got beautiful skin, too.
Can somebody explain to me what's going on with this Alex and Tim situation? Why is Tim meeting her fam? Why is he asking her dad for her hand in marriage? What are we doing? I think the gesture of wanting to ask her dad for her hand is sweet. But we gonna act like y'all don't have major issues? And it's not gonna be fixed just because you make a sweet gesture and ask her dad for her hand. Like, that's not, y'all issues are much bigger than that. I don't know if they did dive deeper into the situation or what I'm calling altercation, because it sounded like it was a physical altercation to me. And for whatever reason, production just left it out. But from the audience POV, they had that thing. They talked about it on the couch, and now we got here. How did we get here? I literally need to know. Like, I need to know the timeline of in the sequence of events. Like, we want the full story. Nick and Vanessa Lachey better be ready to dig into this during that reunion, because from an audience point of view, it's not adding up. What actually happened that night, and how did they work through it? I was just praising production this season for doing a great job at showing the tiny moments in the pods and extending the conversations so that we saw more of the conversations. They did a great job on that during the pods, but they're not doing a great job outside of the pods at showing the tiny details and elaborating on situations that are happening. And this is when it really matters, when the couples are together. Alex seemed to be so focused on come back to the room. Oh, are you coming back to the room today? Are you gonna come back? Girl, you need to be worried about why he left in the first place. And then when she was talking to Ashley and Monica about it, she made it sound like he just upped and left for some reason that was unbeknownst to her.
Yes, he was going to leave this entire experience. Oh my God. I'm like, I don't have this man's number.
Yeah.
This man leaves.
I don't have
If
his
this
number
man leaves, I'm never going to speak to him again.
So then what happened to that?
We smoothed it over.
Girl, did you tell them that you covered his hand with your mouth or your finger or however that played out? Now, Tim said,
this morning I woke up and I thought I was going home.
and you should have. You should have. It really shouldn't be this difficult off top. I would go more into the fact that she's joking about him not wanting to cuddle with her because I don't think it's a joke. But I think that's so low on their list of issues that I'm not even gonna really touch on it because it almost doesn't matter to their situation. I do have notes on both of their apartments. Alex is messy AF. This isn't cute and it isn't funny. If you know people are coming over with cameras and you leave your apartment like this, what does it look like when you don't think anybody's coming over? And no, this is not a depression apartment. This isn't an anxiety apartment. Like, I know what that looks like. I understand that. This is just pure laziness and lack of time management. Because she said that it got like this because she was packing and trying to figure out what to wear, presumably to get ready to go to Love is Blind. But you knew you was going to Love is Blind, so why didn't you ain't have time to like do that ahead of time? Also, am I the only one that hates coming back to a messy apartment? I always give my apartment a nice clean before I go out of town because I want to be able to come back to a clean and peaceful environment. I have anxiety. If I walk back into mess, I'm going to be stressed out when I should really be calm because I just got back from out of town, presumably. I need to come back to peace, not chaos. And then for Tim's apartment, his little portraits of him and his dog kind of creep me out, I'm not gonna lie. I know that's a thing that dog people do. Like, that's a very dog person type of thing. I don't have any dogs. More power to y'all. It kind of creeped me out. Alex was also unimpressed by it. And then Garrett is a king for showing up for Monica in that moment with the whole Steven situation. Obviously, that was not his responsibility, but he showed up anyway. I'm convinced that Taylor and Garrett are another couple who have been together for 10 plus years. She was like, I'm going to need you to shave your neck beard. And he was like, you're right, babe. It would look better if I shave it. You got it. Anything for you. Like, are they not an old married couple already? They really are hashtag best catch of them all. I have no doubts that these two are going to make it, so I really don't have too much to say about them. But it does concern me that Garrett keeps saying, oh, I never really had time to date. That's why I came on this show. Because it sounds like he thinks he's not going to have to date his wife. You still have to date when you're married, contrary to popular belief. That's what keeps the marriage going. And he said it in the pause, and he continues to say it.
Even if we met in the real world, Garrett's really busy. Would he have had time to like?
We wouldn't have met.
Yeah, right. You wouldn't have met any other ways.
And then true, if we had met, then like
I'd like to see you again. Our schedule's
100%. I wouldn't be free again for another month.
It's not just show up, honey, I'm home, and that's considered spending time together. No, you still have to put in a lot of effort for a marriage. You still have to date. You still have to put in that time. Just because at the end of the day y'all gonna be sleeping in the same bed because y'all live together doesn't really change the fact that you still need to make time for your significant other. So yeah, when I hear him continuously say, I just didn't have time to date, it concerns me a little bit. And tell me if y'all feel the same way. I don't doubt that either of their families do kind of have some reservations about how fast all of this is playing out. It seems like both of them have very caring families that just want the best for them. But I do think that the extent at which that is becoming their drama is being a little extra is being put on it. They're getting married. We all know it. So, like, let's just get to it. Let's get these two married, get them to San Diego so they can start their life together. This batch of episodes was a hot mess. This season is turning out to be a dumpster fire. I'm not sure if the next batch of episodes is going to be the weddings because I know there's 12. You would think I would know by now. But I know there's going to be 12 episodes. So maybe we're going to do some final apartment. Oh, we have to do apartments. We have to do bachelor party. So that's probably what episodes 9 and 10 are going to be. 12 is going to be weddings if I had to really plan it out. Outside of that, I don't even really want to predict what's gonna happen in the next batch of episodes, because this season has shown us one thing, is that it has the potentials to go all the way off the tracks. I did want to say one thing. I usually don't celebrate subscriber milestones, not because I don't value you all, but because that was never really the goal of my channel. Actually, my biggest goal for this year was to just work on building community. That's why I created the Discord server, and although it is slow growing, I do really in the future see it as a place for us to just be talking all the time about random stuff, about TV shows, about whatever comes up. And it's a nice feeling to know that there are some of you who pop in occasionally and talk to me and we can converse. I really do appreciate it. And if there's any way that y'all think I can make the server better, please let me know. Sometimes I do movie nights there. I'm going to be hosting the reunion there, like I said. You can request videos that you would like to see from me, all of that kind of stuff. It's also why I do my best to respond to every single comment that I get. Sometimes it does become a bit much, but I do try to respond to every single person. So I did want to acknowledge that I just earned over 5,000 of you all's subscriptions, and that is crazy to me because I know everybody says this. I know I'm about to do the typical YouTuber thing, but I never really saw myself getting to 1K. I was just posting my silly, goofy videos on YouTube, and then here I am. So I appreciate you all so much, and I hope that you continue to feel that you get value from my channel. That's really it on that. I don't have anything planned for it, really. I'm not gonna say anything else about it because, again, the number was never my focus. I made myself some homemade ice cream to celebrate. I'm gonna go eat this now that I'm done recording this. It's delicious. Other than that, I'll see y'all next week for episodes 10 and 11. And until then, bye. Another one bites the dust, and another one down, and another one down, another one bites the dust. I wasn't gonna do a playlist for season 7, but I think I might, just to throw that one song on there. I'm gonna have to make a playlist. I'm gonna put it on Spotify. And they tell me that the men on there, it's Vlogmas last semester. After not degree. Y'all, I think I'm gonna go put some food in the oven. Low key. I bought a pot pie from Trader Joe's, and I know I'm mid recording, but I kind of want to eat it when I'm done recording this. I'm trying not to move the chair, so let me put that up. Nobody. Okay, let's try to get the camera right. Where was I? Insert that clip.
But could you love a haunted house? Or could you love me now? A haunted I'm a haunted house.